Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 21 career mode, and today we're here for the penultimate episode of the Moto2 season for the Australian and Malaysian Grand Prix. Now if you haven't seen the last episode, I do recommend you go check that one out before I do spoil the results of it, because it was absolutely huge for the championship. I picked up 2 victories from 2 races, but bigger than that, Sam Lowes crashed out of the lead of the Thai GP, which meant a massive 25-point swing in that race alone, along with 9 points that we gained at Motegi as well, puts us in a very, very comfortable position. We're now 32 points in the lead of this championship, which means it's mathematically possible for us to win this championship in this episode. In fact, at the next round even, because we have 32 points. If Sam Lowes no scores again and we win the race, we will become the world champion in Moto2. Realistically, it's more likely that we'll win at Malaysia if we win it in this episode, because it requires another no score for Sam Lowes, but stranger things have happened, so you never know. But the next thing to do then, we need to advance forward to the Australian Grand Prix, week 40 of the year, and we've actually got a notification here on the personal manager. We've actually received a proposal, which is obviously from our current team wanting us to sign again. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to move up from Moto2 regardless of whether we win this championship. Looks like we're going to. But either way, I'm going to move up to MotoGP at the end of this season, so we're not going to bother re-signing with that. But without any further ado then, let's head into the Australian Grand Prix. I'll see you after practice. So at the end of the practice session then, I actually went top just a little bit in front of Sam Lowes, you can see there. It was actually a rather interesting session because initially I was 3 seconds clear of the AI for some reason. I went out, set my very first lap, it was 3 seconds quicker than what Arbolino had put in, and according to sort of the practice program times, that was correct. Like, Arbolino's time wasn't too slow, so I was really weirded out, but the AI then improved, so filled me with a lot more confidence. Glad I didn't need to do a million laps to get up to speed this time as well. We're already back on the pace, so without any further ado, I think we should head into qualifying. It's going to be a close one because you can see there's such a small gap there. The AI will probably make a step forward in qualifying. I might not, and there definitely is going to be some tyre issues, that's for sure. So we'll head into qualifying now. I'll see you there. Yeah, actually look at this here on the left-hand side, the previous and current times. Those were the kind of times they were doing, the previous. So I think the ideal track times are wrong for this track. It seems like when they're on track, it's going to be fine. So I think I'm going to have to do that. I think I'm going to have to sit on track in qualifying so that they actually get a fair shot at setting a lap time. So then here we are down in qualifying 2, and coming through Q1 are Celestino Vietti, Marcel Schrotter, Tony Arbolino and Aya Gora. But I'm not too interested in those guys. My main focus, of course, is Sam Lowes. Well, my only focus is Sam Lowes. He's the only rider I need to beat. I don't even have to beat him, really, but if I want to wrap up this championship, that's what I got to do. I just got to focus on beating Sam Lowes. I'm not going to win the championship this round, but we'll give it a go. We'll see what we can do. If I put myself in a position where I'm almost guaranteed to win it at Sepang, that'll be a great way to end off the season. So yeah, I was mentioning that the tyres, we're going to have some trouble. Look on the left-hand side of the screen. The left-hand side of the tyres are gone. The centres are virtually gone. And to be fair, the right-hand sides are not looking too good either. And that was after 3 laps. So yeah, we are going to have tyre trouble in the race. There's no getting around it. I'm definitely going to probably have to use a hard tyre in the race. I think medium will be good enough for 1 lap here. Just about. I might actually have to come in and change to a hard tyre. But yeah, the tyre wear here is absolutely unbelievable. So we might actually struggle in the race. So that could be something that is thrown up. And as you can see again on the left-hand side, the AI's times are wrong. I'm not sure what it is. I think the ideal track time seems to be broken for this track. So half a second up in the first sector, which, yeah, that's no surprises. We're obviously going to go top at the end of this lap because the time is glitched for the AI. So we're probably looking for low 32s, really, for when they actually do their times on track. I've gone very wide through the Honda hairpin, though, so yeah, this lap's probably not going to be too good, which is not great because it's not like I'm going to get several laps off the tyres. It's such a weird glitch, really, because it's obviously not the AI difficulty, because when they're actually on track themselves, the times are fine. It's when the times are simulated, like when I'm in the pit lane. It's really, really weird. I've never seen anything quite like it. Well, towards the line then, let's see what this lap is. 28, 29, 30, 31, 31.9. So yeah, that's about right. I was saying we're going to go for a low 32. We've got a high 31. That might be good enough for now. We'll have to see what the AI do. I'd say I head back to the pits, but I'm just going to cruise around a little bit to give the AI a bit of a chance. So then I stayed on track for literally as long as I could. I was going around until I ran out of fuel. I think there was about 2 minutes left in the session, and to be honest, I think that's more than enough time. I've been more than fair with the AI there, giving them a chance to set a good time, but yeah, they basically were setting the times they were in practice, sort of low 32s at best. I did a high 31, so on pole by a good margin there, but ahead of actually Bo Benschneider in second place. So we're going to carry on our duel from Thailand by the looks of it. So we battled for the victory there, and now it looks like we're going to be battling for the victory here at Australia with him starting second place on the grid. Sam Lowe's fairly far down the order in 7th, so that's the kind of territory where we actually could win the championship at this race if we win, because I need to outscore him by 18 points, so if he's down sort of 9th place getting 7 points or so. Yeah, there's not a lot in this. If he doesn't have a very good race, if he loses some positions, it could be won at this race, but I highly doubt it, to be honest. But either way then, let's head into the race. It looks, based on the pace, like it'll be an easy victory, but you've got to remember there's going to be huge tyre issues. I'm going to have to go with a hard tyre on the rear, that's for sure. I don't know whether I'm actually going to be able to get away with a hard tyre on the front. I don't think so. Might be worth I might give it a go. I might just go hard, because at the end of the day, if I don't finish so well, it's not the end of the world, because I actually came into this weekend thinking I was going to struggle, and obviously that's not the case. So hopefully it works out for me, but I guess you never know till you actually get into it. So we're down here on the grid then. It's actually recommending me a medium front and a hard rear, but I'll go for a hard front as well, because I don't want to be losing the front. It's really crazy actually how high the tyre wear is here. I know it's like that in real life as well, though, because of just all the high-speed corners, it just batters the tyres, but I was a little bit surprised by actually how quickly the tyres degraded to a point where they were completely unusable, but I guess that's just something we have to put up with. Looks like the pace is very good, so hopefully if we can try and do a bit of a Motegi-style race, sort of get a decent start, put a bit of a gap, and then just manage that gap, I think that's probably going to be the way to win this one, rather than going hell for leather the whole time. But let's get into this then. Sam's down in 7th, we're on pole, let's maximise it, and hey, we could win the championship. You never know.
Engines fired up, riders ready, just a few moments to go, and another Australian Grand Prix will begin here at Phillip Island.
So here we are then, first place on the grid. You can see in the background there Sam Lowe's, you can see Ralph Fernandez as well on the second row of the grid. Waiting for the lights to go here then at Phillip Island. Lights out and away we go. Have we got a decent start? Are we going to lose the lead down towards the first corner? So far we've still got the lead. Yes, it actually looks like we've made a decent start. Benschneider is right there. We've actually got the position still as we head into the first corner. So there we go. That's probably the hard bit over. Usually my start's not too good, as you saw in Thailand. We lost a few places, although after that we recovered very, very well and got back up into 4th place. But even still in this one, we've got the whole shot coming out the southern loop. Where is Sam? Sam's not even in the top 8. So I don't know where Sam Lowe's is. I think he's had a pretty poor start, because he seems to be behind Firmin Aldeguer and Iagora. I think he was in front of both of them at the start, so he's lost a couple of positions already, so not good for Sam Lowe's. But he could actually be in a title winning position right now. I'm not 100% sure of all the points. You think I would know, but I don't actually know the points really after the first 5. I know it's the top 5 scoring points, but that's about it. As we go to the grass, don't want a high side there. That was very, very close. We've got a 6/10 lead over Marcel Schrotter in second place, so Benschneider's already lost that second position. Schrotter did seem like the guy that was quickest throughout qualifying. I think Benschneider just put one really good lap together, whereas I think Schrotter did a few laps that were better than anybody else. So Schrotter probably is the more consistent runner, because there already is a little bit of wear on the tyre, especially on that left-hand side. The left-hand side really does get absolutely destroyed around this circuit. He's already shortened the gap to 0.4 of a second. This is not my favoured sector. This is definitely the sector where I tend to lose a lot of time. I just really struggle to get the right line and get on the power at the right point. Even compared to players, it's not even necessarily an AIOP thing. It is genuinely a thing I'm just not very good at. But we've got out the last corner pretty well there, actually. So we're back up to half a second. 1 minute 39.2 at the start of that, at the end of that first lap, for the first lap of the race then. So let's see what we do on this next lap. See if we can put a little bit more of a gap into Schrotter, because we're only half a second in front. I want a little bit more of a buffer for when the tyres go off. But I'll tell you what, Schrotter's definitely responded on this lap. He's only 2 tenths behind now. We've got a pretty good run at the last corner, put a couple tenths into him again, but he is right there. Well, the whole field is right there. Di Gianantonio, fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 32.7 for me on that lap, so miles of what I did in qualifying. I really need to try and up the pace if I can. Ralph Fernandez took second very briefly there, so I think they're in a bit of a train. So the positions might swap quite a bit. I've run pretty wide through Southern Loop. I put a bit of a gap up into doing, so I've not quite been overtaken there, fortunately. So here we are then at the end of this lap. Fernandez is only 3 tenths behind me. He might make a pass if we're not careful. I'm really not shaking him here. I mean, it was one thing in Motegi when I just had about 0.7, 0.8 between that and about 1.2, like as it swung throughout the lap. But this time, it's like 2 tenths, and it gets up to about 6 at the maximum. So they are right there. If I make a mistake, I'm losing a few positions, not even just one. It seems like I'm good enough through the first couple of sectors to put them at bay for the last couple, and then I get out the last corner well enough that they won't drag me to the line, but if I make a mistake in one of those sections, they could well and truly beat me, which would be quite embarrassing, especially considering the gap I had in qualifying. But I've had to go the hard route on the tyres, which I think is the main thing, because tyres actually have a massive difference in grip on this game, unlike in the previous games where there wasn't a lot in it. So that could be why we're off the pace, just because I'm on the hard tyres, but better to be a bit slower through the whole race than to be seconds off at the end of the race on mediums. Although this lap has been a lot more like it. We're now about half a second in front of him, up towards the line yet, fast up of the race, 32.3, which I think is pretty competitive compared to their time. So we're starting the penultimate lap of the race. Got a bit more breathing room. Can we do it? Can we win this race? Lowe's is back up to 8th now. I've just noticed it's the first time he's been in the top 8 all race. So I don't think we'll win the championship with him in that position, unfortunately. Tell you what, Raul is on a mission. He's only a 10th behind me now. He's going to make a pass. I think he's going to pass me in this last sector. He actually had a very good last sector. We've put a bit of time back into him. Up to about 3, nearly 4 tenths of a second. But we're starting the final lap. This is it. This is going to be close. If we make any mistake, either Fernandez or Strotter are coming straight through. That's for sure, because they are right there. I've not been able to shake them in this race. The hard tyres probably being the reason for that. But also, we still have grip on the tyres left. So that's also because of the hard tyres. So I can't complain too much. We've got about half a second there through the southern loop. So I think I should be able to hang on to that. That should be enough, hopefully. Down towards MG. We've got to get the braking right here. We cannot run wide. I've proceeded to run wide anyway. Fernandez hasn't quite been able to get through. If we could just hold it through this penultimate turn, it should be enough, because I've had much better run through the last corner compared to the AI. But he's right there. He's only a 10th behind. This is going to be crucial. He shouldn't overtake me. He's my teammate after all. I kind of need him. And Sam is now back outside the top 8 again by the looks of it. But on towards the line then. Fernandez is right there, but we are just going to win the Australian Grand Prix, potentially the World Championship. And we did it! We've won the championship! Sam is gone! Where is Sam? Sam's not even in the top 9. Don't know what happened to him there. But he's completely gone. Where is he? 10th place. And that is it. That's enough points. I've just seen the achievement come up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So I definitely know that it is enough. So I'm glad that I was doing my maths right. But oh, that's a shock. That is a surprise right there, because I thought he was going to be with us all weekend after that second place in free practice. I thought, there's not a chance at this race, but we've done it. We've absolutely done it. Sam Lowe's done a terrible qualifying, an even worse race, and that's been enough. Raul Fernandez, my own teammate, pushing me that whole race, unbelievably. Actually can't believe it, how close he was at the end, but we just managed to hang on there, so yes, we've done it. We've won the championship. What a season it's been. 2 more races to go and enjoy myself now, so no pressure there, but we are the Moto2 World Champion. So actually, I think I probably was doing my maths slightly wrong, because we've only just won it there. 51 points in front of him with 10th place. Oh yeah, so 50 for 9th place, which is what I was basing it on. I knew 8th would be 1 point too little, I think. And 9th place, that would be enough. So yeah, we just won it there. 51 points with 2 races to go. That is unassailable. So we've won the Moto2 Riders' Championship. And I think we'd also already won the Teams Championship. I forgot to mention that in the last episode, but I think we won the Teams Championship in the previous episode. So a double for IOKTM. They're going to be happy with that one. Yeah, as you can see, we're 196 points with 90 points still up for grabs. So yeah, we are clear there. We'd already won that championship. I think we probably won it at Motegi, to be honest, but I didn't even realise I wasn't adding up the points. But there you go then. Riders Champion, Teams Champion. You couldn't ask for much more. Let's get these next 2 races done, and then it's on to MotoGP. But we'll head back to the career hub now and do everything that needs to be done between this race and the next one. Although I think they're a week apart, so there's probably actually nothing for us to do there. So then, from that weekend, we gained 26,300 reputation points, which takes us up to 382,100. And on the credits front, of course, that's entirely decided by the race results, so we get 13,737, which takes us up to 231,626 credits. So back in the career hub then, and there is actually a couple of things to do. There is a couple of upgrades that we need to look at. So, well, the frame is now fully maxed out, actually. There's nothing else we can do on there, because we can buy one more upgrade, but it's the optional one. You pick between the 2, so there's no point getting both. And on the electronics, we can get anti-wheelie too. I mean, I may as well. Yeah, we'll add them, and we'll get everybody off the fairing as well, because, well, they're not doing anything, so we may as well get this upgrading quicker. Not that I've been struggling with the anti-wheelie anyway, but, you know, and it's still going to take 14 weeks, so there's not enough weeks in the year for it to complete, but yeah, we'll put them on it. They can have something to do. They can update the anti-wheelie. But with no other notifications then, let's head into the Malaysian Grand Prix as the Moto2 World Champion. So at the end of practice then, I managed to top the session by a small margin once again over Marco Bezzecchi. Last few races, it seems to be me and him topping all the free practices and being super close, like less than a tenth. It's really strange, but yeah, for some reason Bezzecchi's been super strong in practice. But you can see Sam Lowes once again is not in the top 9, he's actually down in 10th place in this session. And the same bug has happened again from Phillip Island with the simulated times. So these 206s that they've done, they did those on track. They can't simulate a time that's anywhere near that, so if I'm in the pit lane, they cannot do a time that's anywhere near 206, they just do a 2.8s and 2.07s, so yeah, it's a little bit weird. I'm not sure why they seem to be so much slower on the simulated times the last, like, 2 races. Hopefully it's something that resolves for MotoGP. I'm guessing it's probably going to happen in Valencia as well, based on the fact it's happened in Phillip Island and now Malaysia, but whatever, there's not a lot I can do, so I head into qualifying. Probably will be pole position because I can't really be bothered to sit for ages letting them do loads of laps. I'll probably do an out lap, an in lap, and a flying lap, just to give them as much time as they can to do a decent lap time, but if the game's bugging out, it's not really my fault. So it's actually cloudy in this session, which should help out a bit because once again the tyres are absolutely shredded after that free practice. I did a few laps and they were gone. I mean, they were gone after basically a lap. They're pretty much only usable over a single lap because obviously how hot it is in Malaysia. So you got to watch out for that. Again, that probably will throw a spanner into the works for the race because obviously I want to use my medium tyres for the race because that's what I feel good on. But I'm probably going to have to use the hard tyre instead so I actually make it to the end. So yeah, it's going to be another interesting one. Maybe it'll be another close one like it was in Phillip Island because I could not shake them once I had the hard tyres on. And the pace actually of the AI is not as bad as I expected. I thought they were going to be quite slow at this circuit as they usually are. But it seemed like from the free practice results they actually weren't too far off. So obviously there's no benchmark time at the minute, so we're not going to have any sector splits on this lap, which is unfortunate because that's usually quite a good reference to look at, see where you're going to put yourself. So maybe there will be a time by the time I come over the line because obviously there are a few AI up the road in front of me, but for now there's no times to gauge on this lap, so I'll just give it everything I've got and hopefully should be good enough for pole position. 25.2 in the first sector. Not really sure if that's any good or not, to be honest. 56.4 in the second sector. Again, not really sure how good that is. I think that's probably pretty decent. The laps felt not too bad so far. I mean, it's not been amazing, but it's not been terrible. We are closing up on Canet by the looks of it, which that is a good gauge. When you're closing up on the AI, usually means the lap is fairly decent. So towards the line then, Digi's top with a 206.0. What's this going to be? 205.7, so just quicker than Digi. Don't know whether that's going to be good enough for pole position or not though, because it's only a few tenths clear. They do tend to improve a little bit. Although Bezzecchi and Roberts are only on personal best laps, so they're not on session bests. So that does bode pretty well for me so far. Again, Digi on a personal best, so yeah, I think we're going to be okay. It looks like, well, those laps have not quite been done yet. It seems like Vieje and Arbolino have done a couple of laps there. Dixon's now to second, interestingly enough. So Dixon seems to be going pretty well this weekend, but still about 3 tenths there. So I think that might be good enough. I will just do an in-lap, like I said, to give them time to actually set a lap. And we'll see if we're still pole by the end of that, because that probably will be about it in terms of competitive lap times for the AI. And oh, Bezzecchi is pretty close. He's only a tenth off. So this might not quite be good enough here, but that's good. I mean, he's actually going to give me a run for my money here, which generally they don't at Malaysia, so it'd be good to see. Digi's gone top. Digi's taken me off pole position by almost a tenth of a second. So yeah, the AI definitely got a bit more pace up their sleeve than I thought they did. As we come back into the pits, Bezzecchi's now on a double red sector though because of that. So I think Bezzecchi is probably going to go top again. Schrotzer's got a red sector as well. So the AI pretty quick at Malaysia for once. That is a surprise. So at the end of the session then, Digi Antonio ended up on pole position. I stayed in second. Bezzecchi didn't manage to improve on that lap. I thought he would, but I'd already gone into the pit lane anyway, thinking that he wasn't going to improve, so I didn't do it on purpose, but he'd done 3 of the 4 sectors, so I thought he might still improve, but unfortunately he didn't. But again, I can't be just sitting on track and waiting for the AI to do decent times, because that helps them out. But interestingly enough, Sam Lowes is down in 18th place, so these last 2 races have been absolutely terrible for him. Well, the last 3 really, because obviously he crashed in Chang, he didn't do very well in Phillip Island, just he had a lack of pace, but here it seems even worse. He probably didn't get an actual lap in, looking by a 2:07.9. It's like he's the only rider that probably didn't do a lap in that time. But, I mean, I gave him plenty of time. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough weekend for Sam Lowes then. But we are going to have a race on our hands this time. We've got to try and make some passes on track at my favourite track. On the hard tyres as well. this could be a spicy race, that's for sure. So I'll see you down on the grid. Hopefully it goes well for me. It is going to be a very, very interesting race. Obviously, we're not even on pole this time, which is a surprise. If you told me that I wasn't going to be on pole in Malaysia, I would be quite shocked, especially considering I was on pole at Phillip Island, which really isn't a track I expected to do well at. So this episode has not really been what I expected at all. We wrapped up the championship race earlier than I thought we would. We're not the fastest guy at the track I thought we'd be the fastest at, and we were the fastest guy at the track I thought I'd be the slowest at. So it's been a bit of a wacky episode, that's for sure. But let's get this race started then. Go for the win. Nothing to lose. Obviously, no championship to throw away now. No teams championship or riders championship to fight for. So just going for glory. So I'm going to throw everything at it and try and win. No reason to sit back.
Sepang circuit is ready for another Malaysian Grand Prix. Just a few moments to go until the riders battle away on track.
So Digi on pole, myself second, Schrotter in third place. Here we are then, going up to Palmer 3, waiting for the lights to get here then at Malaysia. Lights out and away we go. I've not let the clutch out too well. We've lost a position, we've lost 2 positions. We're down to 4th place already. Joe Roberts hits me at the back. That probably actually helped me a little bit. Remy Gardner's coming past us as well. As we go down towards the first corner, go try and break round the outside of Bezzecchi, round the outside of Schrotter, round the outside of Digi as well, but we've gone a little bit wide in. There's been a crash behind. Not sure who's been involved in that. We've now lost a position to Remy Gardner once again. Bezzecchi back up the inside again. This is getting close. And we actually have dropped back down into 6th place. Or sorry, 5th place. But now back up to 4th. A little bit of contact with Bezzecchi. Didn't mean to do that, but it's the first lap. There is going to be a little bit of contact sometimes. But Digi still leads then. Schrotter second. We've been overtaken by my teammates. It's been a while since I finished by one of my teammates, I think. I don't know when the last race of that was. Probably in the previous episode before I made the return to career mode. Aragon up the inside goes Bezzecchi though. Bezzecchi takes that 4th place straight back off me. So on this first lap, I'm definitely struggling, that's for sure. Going to need to try and fight back at some of these AI, but they don't seem to be breaking away yet, so that's a good sign. I've got to watch out for this hairpin though, because they're a little bit strange into this hairpin. They tend to crash on the curb sometimes, so make sure I don't get caught up in anything like that. As we go to the outside of Bezzecchi, I'm just going to be a bit wary that he doesn't touch the curb and go down. He hasn't. So we're alright for now. Got Hoy Navarro right behind. The tyre's spinning, even with that hard tyre. Spinning quite a lot. Hopefully Navarro doesn't come to the inside. I thought he was going to. Gardner's up to 2nd now. So Gardner really is on a charge. And I think Schrotter's going to get mugged for 3rd place here by Bezzecchi. Looks like it. They're super close as they go through the penultimate turn. But I've got a big run now. Up the inside of Schrotter. Oh, there's been another crash behind. So that's 2 crashes already on this first lap. Here we go. Try to get the run compared to Schrotter. There we go. We're up to 4th place then now once again. The poor Schrotter is going backwards on this first lap. Started in 2nd position. Well, he started 3rd, got up to 2nd. He's back down into 5th. But I've gone so hot into this last corner. We're surely going to lose a couple of positions because of that. Yeah, Schrotter's back through once again. So back down to 5th place. It's been a scrappy first lap. Got to think the hard tyres help, but also not been the best riding. But here we go, flying back past Schrotter. Needs to try and get back on the back of Bezzecchi so that the leaders don't get away from me. And I have done that actually pretty well into turn 1. So Digi leads then ahead of Remy Gardner. But Remy, he's definitely looking for a win here. I don't know when the last time he won a race was. In fact, he's been quite poor this season in general. So is Raul Fernandez. The AI performance in Moto2 is not very accurate, although it's not in Moto3 either, because Darren Binder was my main title rival. While we saw his season in Moto3, it wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't title season. Not a great line through turn 4 there. Say the least. The rear stepped out, almost crashed through turn 5. So it seems like I'm definitely struggling on the side of the tyre compared to the AI, but I didn't lose too much time, fortunately, so I might be able to claw it back on the brakes into the hairpin and into the last corner through the penultimate turn, things like that. Just got to try and maximise my areas and maybe take it a bit steadier through the parts where I'm struggling so I don't crash. Oh, that was close. I almost hit Bezzecchi right at the back there. I don't even know if there was a little bit of contact, but Bezzecchi is now to 2nd place. So Bezzecchi is now the one on the charge rather than Remy Gardner. Remy Gardner's been dispatched off, back down to 3rd place, so he's my next target now. I'd say he won't make it too hard for me, but obviously I'm not fighting for a championship anymore. I've won it, so you know he's going to give me. He's going to push me hard. Although Raul Fernandez pushed me hard in the last race when I hadn't won the championship yet, so you never know what you're going to get with your teammates. So fastest lap of the race into Bezzecchi, 2:06.0. I did a 2:06.2. So yeah, the AI's times on the track seemed pretty good. It was just the simulated ones that are a little bit broken, unfortunately. Hopefully, if I don't make so many mistakes on this lap, I should be able to get past Remy. So I think I am quicker. I think it was just the big slides that I almost crashed on that cost me a lot of time. Oh! Digi Antonio's made a big mistake, and Bezzecchi's taken the lead of the race. So Marco Bezzecchi hits the front, one Italian overtakes the other, although they're still going side by side down towards turn 4. I think Digi's back round the outside, but Bezzecchi's got the inside. Digi's going to get squeezed out. I'm pushing Remy through the corner. Bezzecchi's going to sweep round the outside. Yes, he does. So Bezzecchi now in the lead. Not sure what happened there with Fabio Di Giannantonio, because he seemed to sort of clip the curb and take a really weird line. I think he made a big mistake. We're right on the back of Remy now, so I need to try and pass him as quickly as possible, because Bezzecchi, he's going to try and check out, I think. Oh, look how close we are to Remy through there. I desperately need to make this pass on him, and then if I could try and pass Di Giannantonio as well, after that, that would be helpful. Up the inside we go of Remy. I'm on the inside of Fabio Di Giannantonio as well. Not quite done it all. There's been a bit of an almost high side there for myself. Schrotter and Navarro have gone down in the background as well. But we're onto the podium once again. We managed to pull off the pass on Remy. Didn't flip myself out the seat. So as we've just completed just over half race distance there. Back onto the podium. Need to try and pass Di Giannantonio because Bezzecchi is absolutely checking out already. Digi didn't have an ideal turn 3 once again. We're on the power. I think we're going to make a pass down towards turn 4 by the looks of it on the inside. Here we are on the brakes. This is close quarters stuff. Oh, have we done it? I've lost the rear a little bit. I've parked it right on the exit of the corner. I mean, I think I've got the move, and he's trying to sweep back around the outside. Oh, a bit of contact. I think I've got the position now, but it cost us both a lot of time as well, because it wasn't the most ideal move. It was a pretty close pass as well, but I had to move him back to the outside of the track so that I could kind of take a bit of a sweep in, because it would have been even slower if I had to turn it in tighter. I've got to try and push now and catch up to Bezzecchi, but there's only just over 1 lap to go. I don't think I'm going to do it, because he's got 9/10 of a second, and he seemed quicker anyway. It wasn't like I was catching him and just being held up. He seemed like he was genuinely quicker and pulling away. Oh, here comes Digi, though. Digi's coming back at me, down towards the final corner. I've got it for now, but might need to focus my attention backwards rather than forwards, especially if I go a bit wide through the last corner. He's not quite able to get through, but it's not far off. I think that's it now. That's definitely at curtains. I'm going to use a bit of power mode 3, see if I can close up, because the AI do tend to slow down sometimes on the last lap. But here comes Digi once again. I think that's it now. I think it's just going to be Bezzecchi in the lead now, and I've gone so hot into this first corner. It's unbelievable. I don't know how I haven't crashed, to be honest. That's definitely it over now. I'm going to struggle to get second, I think, at this rate now, because we've lost so much time to Di Giannantonio as well. Goes right up to Di Giannantonio now. He's looking back at me. I'm running out of places to make a pass, though, because I think they're generally a bit quicker through this sector of the track, because he was right behind me after this sector last time. Although he's not done that too well through turn 12. We've gained a lot of time on him. Here we go. Towards the penultimate turn. I've almost hit him at the back. That was an aborted pass attempt, but he's gone a bit wide. I'm carrying the speed through. I've got a lot of wheel spin, though. Once again, a bit let down by that, but Remy Gardner's dropped back so much. He's now 3 seconds behind. He was about 2 seconds behind at the start of this lap, so he's been gapped by another second. But I think this is going to be it. I think Di Giannantonio is going to have this. I'm going to go really deep into the last corner. No, I'm done for. I'm done for. I'm going to go to the grass. Not quite. All the way to the car park, but I've got 4 seconds to play with now, so that was not a great race, but honestly, good battles from the AI, good pace by the AI as well. 2:05.5 on that last lap by Bezzecchi. That's quicker than my pole time. 2:05.9 for Di Giannantonio as well. Some good pace for the AI. 2:06.2 for Iagora. You can see definitely us three were a lot quicker than everybody else, but that's crazy. That is. That's yeah, that was a good race. I enjoyed that. I had to push really hard. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't win, because like I said, this is my favourite track, but you win some, you lose some, and it was a good battle. I made some crucial mistakes, but at least I didn't crash. At least I didn't crash. I could easily have crashed, especially at that first corner and the last corner on the last lap. I really messed up there, but well done to Bezzecchi and Di Giannantonio. Really good battle there. So that takes me up to around 300 points then in the championship. And there is a little bit of change there. Bezzecchi jumps out of Gardner, so Bezzecchi actually takes that 3rd position. And can he still get second off Sam? No, he can't, because he's 32 points behind. So yeah, Sam's got that 2nd place in the championship consolidated now. So it's going to be a British one too, regardless of what happens. But there's still a pretty spicy fight for 3rd place there with Bezzecchi, Gardner and Di Giannantonio actually. So the riders we were battling with in this race. super close, and there's still a bit of a battle going on for 6th place between Raul Fernandez, Vietti and Ben Schneider as well, so a few things to watch out for there in the final race. And in the Teams Championship, top 3 staying pretty stagnant, but again, it's pretty close between the Gresini team and the Intact GP team. I'd go take a look at the replay, but again, I don't want to have that issue where it's just fast forwarding through, and I think we know all the crashes were probably just someone touched the curb and took somebody else out, so it's not particularly that interesting. It wasn't like a massive pile-up or anything like that, just a couple of AI crashing on their own, so yeah, I think I'll just head back to the career hub and end off the episode there. So then, we gained 22,000 reputation points from that weekend, which takes us up to 404,100, so we've broke that 400,000 threshold on the reputation. As for the credits, we gained 12,637, which takes us up to 244,263. So there's no notifications on this screen then, so that brings this episode to a close. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. It's been a really good episode. We won the Moto2 World Championship, which is absolutely unbelievable. I kind of expected that we would win it in this episode, but just not in the way that we did, and definitely not on Phillip Island. So it was a surprising episode. It's not what I expected exactly, because I won at the track I thought I was going to struggle at, and I struggled at the track I thought I was going to win at. So yeah, a bit of a topsy-turvy episode. Really good battles there with Bezzecchi and Digi Antonio as well. I think it was definitely down to the fact that I did not get a good enough start. If I'd had a good first lap and kept up with them, maybe I could have took the lead and then held them off, but their pace was phenomenal. I was having to push and make mistakes and stuff, so yeah, that was really enjoyable. So I hope you guys did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.